Today, Lama Lodu Rinpoche will give the commentary and teachings on the practice of the Bodhisattva of Compassion, Chenrezig. Practice is divided into 3 subdivisions, the first part being refuge in generating Bodhicitta. The second part is the focusing of the mind on the main body of the meditation object. And the third part is how to dedicate the merit gained from the practice to all sentient beings. So Rinpoche will give commentary on each subdivision and also lead a guided group meditation practice, and we'll conclude with a Q&A session. And in the event that there are any individuals who are joining these teachings for the first time, the way the Q&A works is please type your questions into the chat, and I will read them to Rinpoche at the end of the recording. And we did receive some feedback that some folks find it distracting to have the questions posted in the general chat. So if you have the technical savvy to text them to me directly, that's preferable, but for ease and making sure that everyone can get their question asked, feel free to just type it into the general chat if you can't figure out how to get directly to me. My name is David Falla. So we'll go ahead and get started. And just before we do that, I wanted to once again thank Lama Lodu Rinpoche for sharing with us these teachings in this time, and for sharing with us the blessings of the precious Shangpa Kagyu lineage. And I virtually offer this kata to you, Lama Lodu. Thank you very much, and please proceed.
Oh, welcome everyone, especially the coordinator of these technicians, Lama Chuing and David Fowler and Leah. 3 of you are working hard together. To this is kind of very good accommodation for this teaching to pass down to people. So I want to say thank you very much. And so today is already David has mentioned about the subject, and we are actually really focused on the Avalokiteshvara. Of course, that is he already mentioned that's the 3 divisions very important for the Vajrayana practice. Actually, it's all the Mahayana practice as well, because that's very important at the beginning to cultivate and the Bodhicitta and make the teaching become truly result to the getting enlightenments. And also that, second is taking refuge is very important. What Buddha means, you're going to get Buddha, but then what is the Buddha mean is during the refuge, explaining a little bit about the refuge, who's the Buddha, who's Dharma, who's Sangha. And that is true, but taking refuge in Bodhicitta is very important first part of the among 3, very important. That's laying the foundation. Your practice could be do non-Buddhist or Buddhist practice. This will taking refuge make the are you a non-Buddhist practitioner or Buddhist practitioner. You take a refuge, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, that for sure you are Buddhist practitioner. But you are not taking refuge, you're practicing, that means something else. It's called, we call non-Buddhist, but there's someone out of Buddhist, they practice maybe that way. So therefore, avoiding that defect by taking refuge. And generating Bodhicitta is also the very important part. This will be the Mahayana and Hinayana definitions here. The Hinayana is kind of very limited. The practice the result to very limited, but there is practice. Also, Buddha himself presented this teaching Hinayana too. So, but somewhat Buddha give the teaching. Someone who will low faculty, not ready for the brief, profound teaching, but still on the way to get enlightenment too, eventually. But so that is called the Theravada, so Hinayana or Hinayana, yes, we call Hinayana. Vidaya Sutra we call also. So that is their practice. And then when we have Mahayana practice, it's kind of more different. What makes this different, these two, is the Mahayana the take refuge up until I get arhat. That arhat meanings doesn't get your enlightenment. You are on the way to enlightenment, but there is kind of somewhere you relax, peaceful nirvana. So, which meaning subside with affliction, emotion, and the ego, but not totally remove. So you are not achieved all the total enlightenment then. So that is the Hinayana way, how we look Hinayana, and that was the practice Hinayana, which means that they care to achieve the enlightenment themselves. They not have the motivation to benefit sentient being too much, because they think they are in samsara, suffering, pain, confused. They cannot benefit others, so their mind is completely, little bit, very limited. So they do have compassion, but their compassion is more or less very limited. But a compassion to other being to get enlightened themselves, and so that is kind of more focused themselves to liberate from the sufferings. So the Mahayana is we are, motivation begin. We have the, as I mentioned last time too, there are different kind of level of the motivation, high level, middle level, and lesser level of motivation. So these different level of motivation is the Mahayana motivations, which always the important to love and kind and compassion to all sentient beings. Relatively, Mahayana suggested that, and not only to oneself to get enlightenment, but also we consider all sentient beings get to enlightenment. So Mahayana says is kind of more that when we get enlightenment, if possible, I can bring all enlightened first, then I go to enlightenment. And then second is kind of, when I get enlightenment, same time, all being enlightenments. And then third one say, may I have to put all the effort to get enlightenment myself, then I bring all sentient beings to enlightenments. So these three kind of motivation, my on the level of the practitioner should be engaged. But the two of them is too high for beginner, but last one is more easy to kind of accepted by the ordinary intellectual people like us. And so therefore, this kind of two different things. One is more dedicated to benefit sentient being, engaging Bodhisattva of conduct. One is the engaging the good conduct, but they benefit themselves to get enlightenment. And so that when they attain enlightenment, they are not fully enlightenment. We call fear, destroy, and also they are kind of conquer of the enemy, they call. So enemy is our ego and afflictions. So they are overcome that, yet they are not fully enlightenment. So that because that bring them to some kind of peace nirvana, but they don't have the mental quality to benefit other sentient being, because beginning they have no motivation with that. So that is the destination of the Mahayana Vajrayana practitioner, especially when you practicing up to the refuge, you take generating bodhicitta. So bodhicitta is the kind of purpose to avoiding law mentality, as like you don't care other sentient being. So that you call law mentality. So then you have to bring your attitude to bring all sentient beings to enlightenment. So that is the Mahayana, avoiding law mentalities, So that is the kind of taking refuge in the bodhicitta, generating these two things, bring the two perfections, which is one is avoiding from non-Buddhist practice and non-Buddhist attitude. One is kind of release, like the kind of low vehicle attitude, low mentality they call too. So sometimes too strong those things, but it is again we cannot against, or you are this Buddha had presented these teachings. We are always doing this practice too, but attitude make different. But other days the practice the same things actually, you know. So anyway, these two are the very important to laying foundation. Any practice we do, that's Mahayana or Vajrayana, you cannot avoid it, no matter what kind of lineage, what kind of practice you do. I think that even upon the religion, they will do same thing. They have the Bodhicitta in the compassion is together to engage the practice, whatever practice you do, whether it's abiding practice or insight practice, or you are developing, creation stage and complete statement of the Vajrayana. So that is reason taking refuge is very important, and generating bodhicitta is very important. That is the kind of lay very good foundation that your practice being ensured that will be a result to attaining enlightenment. See, and so that is the reason we have refuges, very important. So you can see the text. Lama showing a text in the screen there. Can you put for me too, so I can follow exactly? So move around to refuge part. Okay, so that is the generating bodhicitta, and taking refuge generating bodhicitta. Sanji Chetan Soki Chonamla Chanchu Patu Dani Japsu Cheese. So here is like I go for refuge up until enlightenment to Buddha, Dharma, and Assembly Sangha. So this the Buddha is our destination where we're going. Dharma is our path where we're walking. Sangha is our companion who lead us unmistakably to the other shore, our aim, our final destinations. So we are taking refuge to them, not today or tomorrow or next life, this life, but we're taking refuge up until I get Buddha, become Buddha, enlightenment. So that refuge again, definitely, Mahayana doesn't take refuge always until enlightenment. Mahayana take refuge up to the until the dying. So that's also different here. So that two line, taking refuge and taking refuge, actually this case. And Daki Jinsu give a sonam gedola penjir sanje double shows. Two lines, Daki Jinsu give a sonam gedola penjir sanje double show. So this say, may I attain perfect Buddha, complete Buddha, in order to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to get enlightenment, I'm conducting generosity, patience, morality, diligence, concentration, wisdom, and six parameter, etc. So these, what I have aimed, I am motivated to practice. This is my motivation. I want to practice. But by this merit, I become enlightenment. Then I can help all sentient beings without exceptions. So this kind of bodhicitta is kind of condensed here, the two line. So that's the bodhicitta. So this we will repeat twice, because 3 times actually. So because this, make sure when we're saying, we try to bring the meaning in the mind and to make the clearly able to observe what we're saying. So at least, so that is the reason we're repeating that, because this is a very important subject. If you don't repeat, then maybe you will make missing some motivation to not motivate it. So that's the reason we have to repeating here 3 times. So I think there is a Lama Ching has been kindly put in the screen there. So I'm not reading here myself, but you can follow me. So please do so. So I'll repeating in Tibetan right now. Oi sonje jedan soge jonan lai jonjo pardo dani jasonj Dage Jenso Gibe Sunan Gin Dola Bencher Sonjen Rubai Jo Sonjen Jedan Zogi Jonanga Chonjoy Bazo Dani Jason Dage Jinso Gibe Sunan Gin Dola Bencher Sonjen Rubai Jo Sonje Jedan Zogi Junan Lai Jonjo Bardo Dani Jason Dage Jenso Gibe Sunan Gendola Penjere Sonje Rubai Jo. So this is the basic laying foundation of our practice, post-part, taking refuge, generating bodhicittas. So next thing is kind of is also there, is spelled out there is Tibetan and English phonetic also. So this again, I'll be give a little comment on that. It's, you know, Dasu Khajab Simjen Chizu Pekar Dayu thanks. So these two sentences here. Dasu Khajab Simjinki, meaning me and all sentient being as limitless as sky, on the crown of head have the lotus, white lotus mundis. On the mundis, then letter 3, which is, I hope that you all had familiar with that. And otherwise, just your crown have the lotus and mundis, and then on the mundis have the white letter 3. Otherwise, can white dot you can visualize if you don't familiar the letter 3 in the character of Tibetan. So that appears, which is the 3 is the actual essence of the all Buddha's two Dharmakaya mind. So that is the 3 appear above your crown of head. First you have lotus, white lotus and mundis, then the 3 appear on the lotus moon. So that 3 normally will be explaining here as a 3 ascending light radiate to dispel all sentient beings' ignorance, suffering, and pain, delusions, and then return back the light with the pure light and dissolve into the 3 again. And then send again the 3 was sending radiate light to bring the all Buddha and Bodhisattvas blessing as the white light from all the directions, like 10 directions, and light come to dissolve in the 3, which is my crown of head. And then soon as that light dissolve to 3, and then become the excellent normal Avalokiteshvara. So as normal, they now become the 3 become the Avalokiteshvara, which is the white of his body and very clear, which means the body is very vivid and clear as you see the picture, if you are familiar. So try to bring that similar like the picture what you see. The body is white, but clear, meaning that detail of all the ornament and everything, but also clear means just like rainbow, it is seeing clearly what in the air, but it is not real, that tangible again. So it is appeared clearly, but not really tangible as you think, so you can grab them or touch them. It is like rainbow like it, but not will be rainbow, but rainbow like. And then that white clear light of the Avalokiteshvara have the rays 5 color light: white, blue, yellow, red, and green. So those different light also kind of glowing around like aura, around Chenrezig. And Chenrezig expression is very smiley, like very friendly, smiley. And they zoom, meaning look very beautiful, very attractive, very, very pleasant, and also smile toward you. And also his eye is so compassionate eyes look toward you. So that kind of bring your mind that. So this will help you. And also that he has the forearm, which is first two arms joined palm to palm against his heart. And then second arm, that has holding the crystal rosary and white lotus, the two arms. Left arm is holding white lotus, right arm holding the crystal rosary. So that's his forearm. So four different kind of position, four different kind of implement holding there. So his body is completely ornamented with the silk, jewel, and gem, as like custom of Sambhogakaya. So as you familiar, you can see that he has all different kind of jewel and gem, and also have the silk, different kind of silk. And then in particularly Chenrezig, he has the extra things that he deer skin, he cover his left shoulder. So the antelope deer covered his left shoulder. That's kind of different than other deities, So he have left shoulders. Later I will explain why that. And then his crown of his head is the Amitabha Bodhisattva. And then he is residing the 2 feet as lotus positions. And he has leaning his back, stainless mundus. His back's leaned to the stainless moons. Then he became essence of all the refuge. So that is the description given here in the sadhana. So that is what simply you can bring in your mind will be perfectly okay. But again, and that meanings is there. So he has the lotus, white lotus, and the mundus seat. He has it. So that is the kind of symbolizing that is his compassion to care less himself. He is not care himself. He could come to any suffering and pain. In fact, Bodhisattva can, wherever suffering or pain and wherever confusion, and that's they are kind of reincarnated, come to manifested them there to help those sorrowful beings. So that example is the lotus, white lotus. So what that means that lotus grow mud, dirty, but lotus one bloom completely perfect, pure white, very attractive, delightful lotus. Where come this lotus? That come from the mud. The condition of mud giving that both to be perfect, pure, delightful lotus. So Bodhisattva come to the world for benefit all sentient being. So painful, so confused, so difficult place. They will reborn or emanating there to help sentient beings. So Chenrezig, Avalokiteshvara, is manifesting everywhere that you can imagine. More suffering, he more active there, more manifested benefit there. So this is the symbolized how Chenrezig his essential quality, what is his real he is. So that is his show he can such not giving up and not carry himself to suffering and pain, but he want to release the pain as a sentient being, so he'll be get there to the manifesting. Just like example, lotus grow from the mud, but so beautiful to look at. And so that is symbol for the lotus, white lotus. And there is a mundus on the lotus, that means compassion. Compassion that daytime sun shining is very hot, and everybody hot, thirsty, and try to hide somebody even dying there, many beings. So it's that hot, But when is the moon come up, that can cool up all the environment and then save every sentient being they're about to die in there. So this is kind of symbol, his compassion pervade all sentient beings. So freeing all sentient beings' sufferings out of his compassion. And his compassion is not like, this is my friends, so I like to be compassion. I want to dispel his sufferings. And this is not my friend, so I'm not too much like indifferent one. But this is my enemy, never I will be helped to, remove their suffering. So he doesn't have those kind of things. It's non-discrimination, compassion. I think that called non-referential compassions. So he have nothing specific want to be free suffering or dispel suffering. So no matter what, how bad you are, his compassion is there with you to dispel sufferings. So that is the symbol of the compassion that he's sitting there. So that is the lotus and moons. As on the moon, which is kind of free, that is the essence of the Chenrezig. So that case, Chenrezig free is the essence of all Buddha's, Dharmakaya mind. And so that representing all the compassion of the Buddha and Bodhisattvas, form of the tree. So therefore, the Chenrezig is a unusual deities, great beneficial, immediately beneficial, because of his essence of all Buddha's compassions. The past Buddha get enlightenment through the compassion practice, training the compassion. The future Buddha will be enlightenment also through the compassion training. And present time, who practicing compassion is necessary, because that's the kind of result you receive. So that is the kind of, he is representing past, present, future Buddha's compassions. But in the case that actually compassion and emptiness are the conjunctions, inseparable. And the great master, the Tampasanje, says that he says, somebody says there is kind of meadow, a dry meadow, there is fish. So he said, you believe on that? No, I don't believe, because fish doesn't live in the meadow, in the grass shore, and fish doesn't live there. Fish live in the water. So therefore, somebody say there's a fish. I'm not believing that. There's somebody say there is water lake there. So there's some fish. I believe that fish live in the water. So same things. So somebody say if there is someone realize emptiness, not yet compassion. That means he doesn't believe. Someone realize emptiness, not compassion. That means his emptiness not correct. And somebody say, if this person's great compassion, but if he has no emptiness realized, he said that is also he don't believe. So there is emptiness realized. That means compassion be there. And there is someone who realized compassion, true compassion, they realize emptiness as well. So this is kind of conjunction. So this case combined to Dharmakaya, empty and compassion, inseparability, that is the represented by the letter 3, which is the actual essence of the Avalokiteshvara. Avalokiteshvara himself is the essence of the three-time Buddha and Bodhisattva. He is the Buddha, he is the Lama, he is the protector, he is the deities, he is everything. So he is also a conjunction of the inseparability, the emptiness and the compassion. So that is represented by the letter 3, which is your crown of head now, that became our Avalokiteshvara. So that's the case now. 3 is very hidden, very subtle level of Chenrezig. But now she grows level Chenrezig become actually forearm, and then white and ornamented by all this and the deities ornaments. So that you can see that he have the white body. That means he never have any strain, impurity, sins, negativity, not at all. So it's symbolized by his white body, that is, he said, non-defiled by anything. The clear, that means he's completely detailed clear of the understanding of the from beginning to part of merit to until part of no practice. So this symbol of these two things manifesting the pipe wisdom, and the pipe light is representing the Dharmadhatu wisdom, mirror-like wisdom, discriminating wisdom, all accomplishment wisdom, mirror-like wisdom, and so on. So this past wisdom was symbolized by the rays of light from his body, coming pipe light, which is he's totally free of the pipe affliction or 6 affliction, but he totally achieved the pipe wisdom. So that is the rays of light coming from his body. So next from that who look at compassion eye to all sentient beings. So that's naturally who is compassion that he expressed by his so gentle, smiley face, a very attractive face, and an eye is very much deep compassion toward as a sentient being, look at for all sentient beings. So this is the, when you think of this way, you encourage your devotion, and your compassion can be also awakening from there. So that is very important to bring in mind when you're practicing this. What I'm telling is supposed to be you visualizing while you're practicing. So now he has the forearms, that is 2 arms joined to palm against his heart. So that is normally 2 arms as the palm to against palm to palm. So that means that he has the 2 hands together have 10 fingers there. And then that is inside of his palm, inside, hollow, there is a jewel gem, wishful filling gem they're holding there. But this gesture, he against his heart, he's kind of placed into his heart. So that way he is looking that way. So this can see this, and jewel is like when you achieve total enlightenment, it's like jewel, fulfilling every wishes. That's what you achieve. So that's a jewel holding by 2 hands. So that means that jewel like enlightenment, he who achieved totally, he attained that. And then he had the 10 finger, together 2 palm, 10 finger. So is this jewel he find where? How he find this? He find this jewel through practice of the 10 paramitas. 6 paramitas normal, like generosity, morality, patience, diligence, concentration, wisdom. So we pour more there, so, and now that together 10 paramitas. So he joined the 10 fingers together, showed this, the jewel-like enlightenment he achieved through practice of the 10 paramitas. So 10 paramitas is supposed to make him to resolve to jewel-like enlightenments. Then he again interrupted his heart. He found the jewel-like enlightenment is not from outside anywhere. He found jewel-like enlightenment is within his heart, within his mind. So he find there, this was there all the time. So that is symbol of the joining his hand to palm against him. So that is a symbol of the post two arms to join together. Then have the right arms holding the crystal rosary, left arm holding the lotus flowers. So these are also the kind of skillful means and wisdoms. Continues the benefit sentient being non-stop. And until the end of samsaras. So then he wearing the jewel, gem, ornament, and silk, divine silk. So this is the Sambhogakaya dress, this, the custom of the deities. So we call Sambhogakaya, we call enjoyment body. So why we say enjoyment body? Because one who enjoy to benefit sentient beings. Such beings, if he have to go a million times to hell realm to save one being, he doesn't discourage, always encourages, always excited. So that kind of Bodhisattva realization or achievement, and then they can have fully non-stop conduct to benefit sentient beings. So who he enjoying benefit other sentient beings. So that's called enjoyment bodies. So that means that they also one way, Chenrezig is to reach everything, but he need nothing. So that is a state he achieved. So enjoyment bodies mainly say enjoying to benefit sentient beings. So then next one is like antelope deer skin is covered in his left shoulder. So this is the kind of extraordinarily Chenrezig. The antelope deer is used to be Buddha's lifetime was to be in India, deer park. They think people talk about that. I'm not sure of that, but anyway, these are we call tina sarad. So that is the Tibetan call, but it's called antelope deer. They call. I mean, you English call as translation. I see that. So antelope deer, this special deer is kind of very divine, very selfless, work for other beings, keep his life to other beings. So this deer is one lifetime of the Buddha should be there in a deer park somewhere, what I heard for. So that deer, for example, two people very angry and try to chop at each other, with a knife and sword. And so deer this kind of deer who has greatly compassion to sentient being, even the two people are angry, anyone go there, they will chop to you. But this deer, even that kind of situation, he jumped in between these people to instead to chopping each other, chopping to him, but he will sacrifice himself to let the chop, the free of this individual fighter. So that much the deer have the great sympathy to other sentient being, giving his own life. So that for this great compassion symbol, the Chenrezig wearing in his left shoulder, that means he will be giving up his life any way he can save other sentient beings. So that is the kind of deer's, skin. So next one is they adorn in the crown of head of the Avalokiteshvara has Amitabha Buddha. That is supposed to be the Amitabha Buddha is Avalokiteshvara's teachers or guru. But this is also symbolizing that Chenrezig himself fully enlightenment, but manifested to benefit endlessly. Even such achieve knowledge, enlightenment, and he remember kindness of his guru that he can do now this benefit sentient beings. Even he can performing such conduct benefit being, he never forget his guru. So therefore, and adorned in his head is Amitabha Buddha as perfect Buddha there, and symbolizing himself, Avalokiteshvara himself is totally equal enlightenment. But he, the crown of his head always, he never forget kindness of his guru. And what he gave us, the incredible. So even he's identical, his guru, still his guru is thinking in his head always. And so that is the symbolizing to devotee to one's guru. So then he's 2 feet sitting the lotus position there. So 2 feet is the kind of skillful mean and wisdom. One is the kind of skillful mean, and one is wisdom, because that 2 feet, when you walk 2 feet, then you can able to advance your travel. You get every step you go near to your destinations. But that means 1 feet alone cannot do that. 2 feet necessary there. So therefore, wisdom and method have to be together. So one, when you walk, 1 feet is, you are lifted, one you have to step down. So again, another one step, another one in the down. So this, how do we walk? So wisdom, skillful mean is together to be achieve the destinations. So that's the 2 feet symbolizing. So he sit full lotus position. That means that he is totally achieved the enlightenments, yet benefit sentient beings continue. So next one is the kind of stainless moon. He back is leaning for stainless moons, very clear moons. So this kind of giving the short explanation, when you visualize, you have to be clearly focus your mind on this. You can dip all of the one together. If you cannot do that, you can just like face, upper part of body, the lotus, moon seat, lotus position, half of the body, the forearm, and then face, then the whole. You can do that way. But this will be the very important, especially that we have the Vajrayana we call Nagel Tempa, Selna Tempa. So there is kind of 3 different kind of you have to be mentally together to be visualizing the whole. First place that one have to be budget proud, budget dignity, and that is important. Once completely, totally 100%, you believe that you have Buddha nature. The Buddha nature is a seed for future Buddha, but only you're obscure because of our delusions. And so that is you have to have some kind of confidence, trust that you have that. So that's important. And second is that you have to clarify the visualization detail as possible. You more details, that more you get the benefit, the power of your practice. Tempas is one is called a recollection, actually. So one is the kind of clear, all the visualizing, what you detail of with explaining, talking about today, you bring in your mind that. And so then after that, you have the, more you have to stay fast, you have to know this, each of the detail, different implement, different color, different things, different symbolizing. You have to be, some have to know. So this is all the Buddha's quality and perfections. And then you remembering the Buddha's quality of perfection. So that makes you can gathering the Buddha's blessing and power to yourself, then you can benefit yourself, benefit others, So these are the kind of, any practice of the deities yoga practice, you have the need budget proud and clear appearance and steadfast recollections, to call your recollection or remembering, tempa, something like that. These are the very important to keep in your mind to be practice become quite authentic. If you more benefit others, more benefit yourself, both, if you have the keeping that one. So you're missing that one, blessing is there all the time, but not that strength come to the immediately benefit. So next one is so of course there is called the stainless moon, leaning his back, the stainless moon. So that means that his kind of compassion is kind of non-referentials, not partitions or discriminating. Next one is you are essence of all my refuge. So after you visualize completely, if you practicing yourself, then you have more to do here is like, then you, above Chenrezig forehead, he has letter Om, throat letter A, heart center letter Hung. So this letter to go to all the 10 directions Buddha fields, above all the lineage and the root lamas, and all these Yidam deities, Buddha and Bodhisattvas, and the protectors, all these Dharma protectors, all the light sending from you, from 3 lights shining from you, that affect to all of them, 10 directions. The reach to all the Buddha and the lineage, root guru, Buddhas and deities and protector, reach this light. And soon as reach light there, all of them become Avalokiteshvara and dissolve into all of them into your crown of head. So then he become essence of all refuge now. See, so that is called, and normally we call Ishipa, Tamsikpa. So that means as Samaya deities and wisdom deities. The Samaya deities means that you constructed yourself and visualize that. And then light sending from your visualized one to the pure land and the potent direction, and then invoke all these deities, Lama, Yidam, Protector, Buddha, and Bodhisattva, all come from the form of the Bodhisattva, Avalokiteshvara. These all called Samaya, wisdom deities. This is the real Buddha coming from the pure land. and then dissolve into your crown of head, Chenrezig. He become one, but into everything's essence of all Buddhas in one Avalokiteshvara form. So he's become very powerful. All Buddha blessing and the wisdom, compassion is there. So then you have to be, that case, Samaya being you created, you're mentally. Wisdom being is you invoked from the pure land, actual Buddha, will merge into wisdom being, Samaya being, and then become inseparable, wisdom and Samaya. So then he become, they visualize the one is become essence of all Buddha and Bodhisattva. So you have to kind of bring to some confidence and trust that he is the all the Buddha and Bodhisattva. He is the only the refuge. So if we have devotions, the Buddha is always with us. You cannot hide. Buddha is always with us. Buddha is omniscient. Whether you practicing or not practicing. Kanshik Sanjay Yichepa, Ti Duna Tuba use. So there is whoever had the really devotion to Buddha. So in front of that person, Buddha is always there. Buddha is never away from. If you have Tankai and consecrated especially, and then you focus Tankai, and Tankai is really Buddha, you make offering, you bow, prayer, so that Buddha, a real Buddha is appear there, because of the, you are a strong devotion mind, invoke the real Buddha there, out of his compassion, he's there. So now we think the Chenrezig is the essence of all Buddha, and he's there right now with us. There's nothing to hide. Any good things you have, all he knows. Any bad thing we have, he knows. So in that case, we have to totally confident trust, compass, repent, regret anything that I have done negatively, harmful for my future. I regret repentance and promise not to do again because that's causing me suffering pain. So I'm not doing anymore. Promise to do whatever is required to part to develop, get enlightenment. I'll dedicate this, whatever I can. So that way you do, the Buddha's blessing is with you. Buddha is everything we do. Buddha is there with us, So it doesn't mean, we have statue here, we have Tanka here. So all of them, the real Buddha, real statue, the statue is real Buddha there. And the statue doesn't make the Buddha, but my mind makes the Buddha. So statue become Buddha, So that's Buddha has many times in the sutra also sayings, in the future, that then whoever have devotion, trust, the picture of me as me there. So I always, without, failing, I will be all the pictures. I will be there. If somebody treat me as this picture, and then any image you see, and that's me there, then I'll be there. So therefore, we say the image picture, we should not stay down, not putting in the garbage, take out and put in this, nice place and born in the mountain in the high pure place, and that's better. And so that is a devotional object. So that devotional object means you are devotion, Buddha is there. So similar now is more we visualize, invoke the wisdom being there, real Buddha is there. So we must have really things that Buddha is there now. So I have to discipline. Buddha is there, so I have to do my best to not to be negative attitude and try to cultivate positive attitude, devotion and compassion. So that is the way we are, the visualization and Chenrezig, our crowned head. So we may read this post in Tibetan, then you continue. So next one's a prayer now. Jo gengi mangi kudo karon zoksangi ki ulagin tuji chengi dollars Chenrezig la chancelo. That is 4 line only there. So simply saying there, Jo gengi mangi kudo karon means Lord, who you are no defect, no stain. So your body is white. Dzogsangi ki ulagins. Your crown is adorned by the perfect Buddha. You are who already Buddha, but come to the Bodhisattva deity's form. Tukjichengi dollar zigs. So you look to sentient being, eye of the compassions. Chenrezig la chancelo, I bow down to you, the Avalokiteshvara. So this is the kind of short prayer of his quality and perfections. So thinking of his perfections, stainless, white body, 5 wisdom, and he has so compassion and all these things, and he's stainless, no defect. He's completely perfect Buddha. So adorn his Buddha is perfect enlightened one there. So you are always looking for other beings with the eyes of compassion. So I bowing you to with my sincere, heartfelt devotions. And devotion means its quality and perfection bring you very much believe, and you trust, you're competent, and you like it. So that is the kind of devotions. So I pray for you have such perfect quality and perfect compassions. Request to subside all the problem, all sentient beings have the physical problems, mental problems, and confused. Human beings have both suffering, dying sufferings, old age suffering, sickness sufferings. This poor was a great suffering of great river of the human beings. Like born, when you born is very painful to born. And then old age is very sorrowful. When sick, very sorrowful. When dying, very sorrowful, painful. So these are the naturally being you, human being, you have that sufferings. So addition to that, human being have suffering to, yopa-changi melongpa, mepa-tselgi minyepa. So the yopa-changi melongpa means what you have, how to protecting them. What you have, you want to not lose, you want to protect them tightly. The mepa-tselgi minyepa meaning suffering that you don't have, looking and finding that what you don't have. So that's a very confused problem. And with you pounding that not have, you have anger, you have jealous, you have greed, you have proud, you have desire. Of course, you are stupid with that. So these are the mob theirs. We human beings. So also we have we have also suffering. Anyway, I get some enemy to torture me, harming me, taking my things away. So maybe taking me to put down, by losing my name, fame, my wealth, my property. All this all is constantly in the mind that make the mind become uncomfortable. Yen Jambadan Dungal meanings that very much afraid I may separate from my father, my mother, my wife, my children. I may lose them and getting sick. I mean, so how I can, all these things you have in the mind. So this all human beings have that. So human have suffering, 8 of them together for principle 4 and branches 4, 8 of them. That's human sufferings. So this suffering need to subside. No one can subside. If you are devotion enough, trust enough, competent enough, our Lokiteshvara is the one who can subside these sufferings. So then, as you know, we have God realm have suffering to pull down, and demigod realm has lots of quarreling, fighting, suffering there. And a human already we discussed. Animal have sufferings. Some up in the mountain and afraid to eat each other, kill each other, torturing each other. Some of the human possess, and these are the weak is using them and misusing them. We eat their meat, flesh, use their skin, and then kill them for that purpose. So these are the animal have sufferings would possessed by human being and domestic animal. Then the wild animal has the awful suffering to do, afraid to one another. A big animal has small animal kill and drink it. And then have in the ocean has so many suffering. And ocean is the most animal kingdom than anywhere. So there is lots of suffering. There's more than eating. Some of them eat big body, but a small animal may nest them inside the body, eat their flesh, and live there. And then also they will be eaten. The big animal eat whatever comes in their mouth, they chop it, eat it. And that is kind of very stupid. So animal there. So hungry ghosts have also the hungry and thirsty. There is kind of endless, hunger for food and clothes, and they're called chi-dipa, nangi-dipa, pyokurki-dipa, but so 3-4 different kind of type of suffering. And then in the hell realm is of course the 8 heart, 8 cold, this suffering too. So this is all sentient beings have this different kind of suffering, physical suffering, mental suffering. So this suffering make the suffering more, but no one subside the suffering. At least you communicate with Chenrezig through the prayer and visualization with your devotions. So you have such understanding Chenrezig quality and perfection, such devotion, you really have this kind of containment of your devotion. So that's automatically your kind of compassion to other beings, So that's compassion can appear. Then your compassion can be request the blessing from Chenrezig, and your compassion can distribute the compassion blessing from Chenrezig to all beings. You can dispel and subside their offering and their suffering. So this is the Chenrezig who ask him to then look in the compassion eye to this all being to subside and free their sufferings. So then we need this lifetime, all these different beings, they need to free up their physical suffering and mental suffering, especially human being. We are being human being. We know we have suffering and pain. So we need to subside their sufferings. Then you bring the free of the sufferings. So that case, Chenrezig, who has wisdom and skillful means, and who has willing, he has the omniscience, one thing, that he knows sentient being situation, and he has compassion, which is non-referential compassions. Then he has full ability to free the suffering of sentient beings. So that was a kind of quality at Chenrezig. Then your devotion to Chenrezig quality and perfections. So that makes you receive the blessing of the Chenrezig. Then this blessing you send out for all sentient beings, subside their physical and mental sufferings. So that is what you are making, that you are dispel their suffering through your compassions. Also that you want to fulfill their wishes. Every sentient being want to be happy. So bring them to happy and cause of happiness, free of their suffering and cause of sufferings. So that is your prayer to Chenrezig now. This 3 times you're doing. So use this the prayer you're doing, your wish prayer to anything you want to wish to help sentient being. You can make wish here. Specifically, you see or hear, specifically connected with you. So that's kind of suffering and pain you have, seeing or hearing and feeling something. So you can pray to hear, to fulfill the wish of that your aim, so that benefited beings. So we're repeating this prayer 3 times. Please, we do together. So these are the, we praise this way to make the. So next one is 7 branches prayer we call. I'm not doing too much explaining there because so many things there. But I can make short. The 7 branches prayer. Written by this prayer specifically, one Indian great Mahasiddhi, Galoma Palmos, that kind of Bhikshuni lady, Siddha, Bhikshuni Palmo wrote this. So therefore is very related with the Chenrezig. So there's 7 branch prayer. 7 branches prayers in tantric practice, all is school use that, but the different word there's different form, but the same thing is happening. Buddha Shakyamuni wrote 7 branches prayer in Palpuchi Buddha, in the Sutra he wrote 2. They're similar actually, all of them, but depend, using different form. So this is here is 7. There's 7 different stages. First part is this postations, and second part is the offerings. Third part is compassion or repentance, regret your sins, negative. And fourth part is rejoicings. The fifth part is the kind of requesting to teach Dharma in the world in the dark need the light. Sixth one is the deceit, Bodhisattva will not pass nirvana, residing in the world to be example, be teacher of the whole need sentient beings. The seven, we dedicating all this merit to cause to get enlightenment. So that's the seven branches prayer. So each sentence will be, say, each four sentence, 1, 2, 3, 4. The first four is the prostration. Second four is the offerings. Then the third fourth is the repentance. And fourth one is the rejoicing. And fifth one is the requesting teaching. And sixth one is residing teacher to not pass nirvana. And last one, dedication. I repeat again that. So we'll be reading this one. So if you read English, we'll find out all the meaning there. And so explaining it will take a long time to not finish today, then that will be, make it short. But this also was wrote by these bhikshunis and not belong to the same sadhana. But it is Kalu Rinpoche added there, but it's all the school almost doing the same practice now, but Rinpoche designed that way. So we're reading this one together. Please read with me. I have to say some tea to drink because hold on. It's good. Oi, Baba, Chenrezig, Onza, Joy, joy, de zoi, jobai. Yewa, Zeje, Dan, Jela, Kene, Dan, Ve, Jan, Zelo. Mendo, Dobe, Marai, Mende. Sherezero mola zoba, moenjara yege trunebo, pabezo geje so. Otoma mene da debra, megejo da zane. Sene nyomo wanjube de badam je jabaragi ngende ronjele jonjuzem so ke wala soba de son ye wa je soba senam la ne da Senje nange sambada lo ye je da je da je jun de mo de ba yi je ge go lo go do so go lo wa je se ma dong ba yang e me da do je do ngala yan zoro chen wa yi sim chen na la je so da ge se nan je sa ma tan je jong jo jo ren bo me do wa yi den be bo do da jo. So this 7 branches prayer, we doing the Chenrezig 7 branches prayer, way to prayer to him. So now we have these prayer to 6 Ram sentient beings. So this is again the 6 Ram. We first, of course, praying to Chenrezig, so on this Lama Chenrezig, we pray to Chenrezig, you who the Lama, and pray to you that you are Avalokiteshvara. Pray you the Lord of the excellent Chenrezig, and pray you the Lord of the refuge. I pray you the Lord of the loving kindness. I pray you the great compassion one, and hold your mercy and all sentient being who suffers. So this is kind of, in generally, pray to Chenrezig, his power, who he is. So saying now, Tami Kora Champa, Kora Changme Champa is Chamjurching, meaning sentient beings endlessly and numberlessly samsaric wanderings in samsara. The sentient beings experience sufferings, unbearable sufferings. Cannot imagine how sorrow is painful. So you are the refuge. We have no refuge. You the Lord. So please bless may all beings to attain the state of omniscience. So this is kind of prayer to him to continually. So next will be continually, each emotion's affliction will be prayer to Chenrezig. So maybe you can do this part, we can read first. Oh, so wide, so Lama Chenrezig, so wide, so yidam Chenrezig, so wide, so Pajoy Chenrezig, so wide, so Chenrezig, so wide, so Chamge Chenrezig, Tuje Zonje Gewa Tuje Tame Gowa Tame Jan Jing Zeme Dongalai Nyongwe Do Wala Gombo Gele Jai Amai Jesu Nange Songe Tobra Chengelo. So now it starts, one realm, each realms. So saying the power by the beginningless time we accumulate evil karmas. So we born into the hell realms due to our anger. So all the sentient beings who experience suffering of the core and heart may born in front excellent deities, Yu Chenrezig, Om Mani Padme Hum. So this is the kind of your prayer to all the hell realms and purify the anger of the oneself and others. So Om Mani Padme Hum. So maybe you continually finish all of them. So next one is second round, beginningless time, powered by the evil karma, born into hungry ghost realms, powered by the greedy, stingy. Sentient beings, we experience suffering of the thirsty and hunger, may born to Potala, excellent land, Om Mani Padme Hum. So this is a hungry ghost born there is because of the stingy and were kind of that kind of negative correspond to the hungry soul realms. So suffering is and very much poverty, not food, not drink, and that's also there. Even you find the food, you cannot find real food. Look like the iron bone or some kind of short night, and so food become change, something like that. So sometimes become blood and fast food, So that is the kind of hungry ghost ram now. So now next one is animal realms. Beginning last time, accumulative evil karmas. And through the power of the stupidity, we cause this karma. You can move because it's covered by something. I cannot see things. You move down, actually. Yes, okay. So by the born to animal realm, powered by my stupidity, ignorance, and experience of suffering of the dumb and very stupidity, the sentient being who experience that sufferings may born in front of you, the Lord ones, or Manipemi homes. That's the third realm, the animal realm. So these three realms is the worst sufferings. They suffering of suffering. They suffer daily, but in suffering become more suffering and more suffering, not getting better, the worse. So that's the three realm is called the lower realm we call. And so their suffering is more there. We have to consider more them. So now is the kind of these by the power of the evil karma accumulated from beginningless time, born into the human realms, powered by our desire, cravings. So we have sentient beings experience suffering of dissatisfactions, never satisfied. We have get one another things we need to get. As we beginning to talk about human suffering, so that is the great suffering here, human beings. Made born in Dewachen, the excellent lands. Om Mani Padme Hum. There's the human suffering, there's the fourth ones. So next one is the fifth one, powered by the evil karma accumulated from beginningless time and born into the demigod realms, powered by the karma of the jealous. These sentient beings experience suffering of the quarreling and the fightings. May born into the pure land of the Patalas, land of the Devachans. Om Mani Padme Hum. So that's kind of, I think there's 6. And then next one is beginningless time accumulated evil karmas, born in the God realms, powered by our proud. This experience of suffering is a fall down. The suffering they have too much happy suddenly fall down to suffering, very painful. For them born in human being, very painful. Because of they have lived very luxury, So that's called fall down, meaning so you go down, they can see the suffering of the next where you're going to born. So that makes sufferings. They live long time there, but happiness. But that happiness make their time was gone quick. They never think that live long time. When at the end of the death, they can see where they could be born, what kind of suffering will be. They see that will be so. The 7 day of the God realm to staying with that kind of experience. So they're called suffering and fall down, means what they going to do next. And so they will, suffer and pain. This will be make very painful. 7 days, a human 700 years, they live there with that sufferings. And so that is the kind of call down for that suffering the God realm has though. So we pray to born into land of the Patala, the pure land. Or Manipeme Hong. So maybe you can read from beginning of the 6th Ram Tibetan. Oh, what is that we have already down there? Told me the Langan Sam Pendi Shadon Wange Nyawarage enjoy the Tadai Dongara Nyowes Jenao Da Ju Ge Zhong Du Ge Ju Omane Beme Dong Me Dune Lenge Zai Bende Serne Wange Yedane Zoge Tibon Dongara Nyongwe Zenjeno Shinju Boda Laruge Ewa Jo Omane Beme Tomi Tune Lenge Zai Bende Timo Wange Durduruge Lengo Donga Nyowes Enjeno Gombo Gege Jungdu Ewa Jo Omane Beme Tome Dene Lenge Zai Bende Deja Wange Meine Zoge Trebon Dongara Nyongwe Zenjeno Shinju Ndewa Jendu Gewa Omane Beme Dome Dune Lenge Zai Mede Tado Wange Lamine Zoge Taze Dongara Nyongwe Zenjeno Podo Laye Jindu Ewa Jo Omane Beme Tomi Dune Lenge Zai Mede Ngajere Wange Laye Zoge Podon Dongara Nyongwe Zen Jenao Podo Laye Jindu Gewa Jo Omane Beme. So the conclusion of 6 rounds that is saying, I may both up to both, I may equal activity of Chenrezig to liberate sentient being who is impure realm. May the 10 direction increase the 6 silver mantra. Excellent speech of the 6 silver. By the power, I supplicate you, the excellent one. Whoever comes to my tamers, all these beings, may diligent to have the virtuous karma, and they have to completely dedicate to work activity of the virtues. May this all benefit all sentient beings becomes true dharmas. So this 6 Ram prayer is the Iron Bridge Mahasiddha. Actually, this sadhana whole he wrote. Beginning, we have the Until the 7 Branches prayer. This Iron Bridge Mahasiddha wrote. So this is a different occasion he wrote. So this actual the sadhana called Dodene Kachapma, we call the all-pervasive benefit beings, the sadhana title. And he wrote this when he was born in Tibet. He was Mahasiddha Chakzampa, the Iron Bridge builder, Mahasiddha. And also he has called Niguma, giving him name as like Tonta Nyompa. He calls it the mate man, and the madman, who is he lived in an empty meadow, meditating, and so he's the Niguma giving nickname him to your mad man in madman of the meadows, some isolated place, and Tongdan Yabo, then also called king of the meadows also. So Niguma gave him name that way. But Chakzampa is who is built in Tibet, come in China, Bhutan also. He built a lot of iron bridge wherever it's difficult to go through and people have problem to getting supply for their food and drink. So that place he make bridge, medically bridge. It's very much you can visible. I know one is Tibet in the China border. I was there also. I was right on and walk on the bridge, and very amazing. But nowadays they took out all these material what he put it in, and they built it and new things there too. Some part, but some parts still there. And so that is the kind of real things happening this, So he was the kind of very well-known Tibet. He invented dancing and Tibetan opera dance he created. And he did lots of things. He was the lineage of the Shangpa, important lineage holder. And he also direct communicate with the Niguma, Dakini, wisdom Dakini Niguma. He received all Shangpa circle. And that we Shangpa have lots of texts written by him. It's pretty important text there. So he wrote this while he was in Tibet, and this basic sadhana, that Kachapma, Doden Kachapma. But the 7 branches prayer is wrote by the Bhikshuni Palmos. There's one of the lady, Nan Siddha, who wrote this. And so there's 7 branches prayer. Then 6 Ram prayer is again, the same person wrote, but at different time. When he was in India, he was a Gelong Bhikshuni, Bhikshu, he was Bhikshu as a Maha Pandit, but he was practicing from 25 to 80 years. He was continually making Nyungne practice. So that Nyungne practice, that time, he wrote this 6 Ram prayer. And so it was up to he wrote, it is not have the India flourish this prayer. So no one knows even he didn't have left the trash there. But when he was in Tibet and he was a yogi there, then he have remembered, maybe 100 years ago, he was born in India and he practiced Nyungne for a long time. And that time he wrote this prayer, but then he recalled when he was in India, he was born in Tibet, the time of the Tangtang Gyalpo, he remembering his past life. And then he wrote this, his memory of the long time, many lifetime memory come at the time. So this is kind of very blessing related with the Chenrezig, and then who wrote Kachama, then he also wrote this one. The Kalu Rinpoche put together, collated that way. So this is what it's very much, used by all these Karma Kaji and Shangpa Kaji, but also other lineage using this day too. So anyway, so this is what the story of this prayer, and very important to do that prayer. So, okay, so next one is we were reciting mantra now. And so now next time reciting mantra, beginning with the saying, likewise, supplicate one pointedly. Rays of light radiate from the body of the noble ones. All these purifying, illusory, impure appearance. And external world became perfect pure land of the blissful realms, the Vachans. Inner sentient being, all body, speech become body of Chenrezig and speech of mantra, sixth level mantra. And the mind become the wisdoms. So the body use Chenrezig will appear, sound as mantra sound, but the mind see the essence of the body, essence of speech. So that meaning all the body is appear as there, but its essence the emptiness, not real there. And hearing the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum, but mantra is essence of the emptiness. The poem is emptiness, sounds emptiness. So that is the mind cultivate that way or viewing that way. Then all the speech, mind, body of the Avalokiteshvara and become inseparable of appearance and sound, inseparable with empty and awareness. So it is kind of appear like appearance, sound and appearance, but also that their essence is emptiness. So this form and emptiness become inseparable. Sound, emptiness become inseparable. You can hear all empty sound. You can see the all empty form. So this way you cultivate it and visual, bring your mind, and you recite the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Of course, then that case that first you have Chenrezig is above your crown of head. You visualizing there, and you're reciting Chenrezig mantras and visualizing form of Chenrezig. And Chenrezig, as we describe again, same as before, and then also the recite mantras. So visualize forearm Chenrezig, white and everything detail as before. And then in his heart has petal, 6 petal lotus and mundis in his heart. The mundis have the letter Re standing there in the center. Then in front, petal has Om, and then second petal is Ma, which is meaning right side. Ni is in the back side. Base is kind of the left side. And the Me is also, it's continuation there. The Hum is the last ones. So 6 petal, you have, first petal Om, second petal Ma, third petal Ni, fourth petal Pe, fifth petal Me, last and the 6th petal is Hum. So Om Mani Padme Hum. Each petal is and 6 and each different syllable there. Om Mani Padme Hum. And when you reciting mantra, that time they're free and a rays of light. Free is white. The Om is also white, rays of light coming. The Ma is greens, red, green light comes. Ne is yellow, yellow light comings. Pe is blue, blue light comings. Me is the red, red light comings. Hung is black, the black light comes. Om Mani Padme Hum, 6 silver mantra, 6 light, shining, radiating from. So then you recite mantra Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. So that you can light, rays of light go to the 10 direction Buddha field as before. Lineage lamas, root guru, and all the Idam deities, and Buddha and Bodhisattvas, and Dharma protectors, male and female, wrathful, semi-wrathful, peaceful also, all Dharma protector, Dakinis, Dakas. Light go to all of them. The light return back with a 5, 6 color as with the mantra, very strongly, and dissolve into the crown of your head, Om Mani Padme Hum. Then again, the recite continually, visualize the 6 mantra rays light coming from the Chenrezig body to the light affect you and all sentient beings. Dispel our physical and mental negative karma we accumulated since beginning last time, and then we all become our Lokiteshvara identical. So this case, everybody have Buddha nature. So the Buddha nature is no matter where you are, no matter what kind of reborn you are, no matter what kind of evil karma you do, but your Buddha nature is within you. There is. And so the light reach there, in that case, Buddha nature is there, but this light shine on the Buddha nature that you all recognize Buddha nature, and then you can see that you are the Avalokiteshvara, you are the Chenrezig. And all this melt into light and dissolve into your heart again. So that's why you're reciting mantra now, you see. So you can try to now destroy, get blessing from the Buddha and send out your compassion, blessing, loving kindness toward other beings, dispel their sufferings. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. So there, I see the prayer flag there. This prayer flag is not Buddhist prayer flag, not karma, but prayer flag. I don't know that necessarily there. If you can put the karma, but dream flag or Buddhist prayer flag. That would be more make sense. Otherwise, it look like, normally this prayer flag, one the wrathful practice, they put outside that. Look like, but I'm not sure what was that. So, and by the way, I want to say that because somebody see it look like a stranger there. So now the mantra recitation, so you can do specifically, you have in the mind something sorrowful, painful, unbearable, something, then you also focus there. You must recite mantra again, focus that specific one, but include all sentient beings. And you make only the focus the specific one, that will be the lessening your power and blessing and not affected too much. You include in all sentient being, that will be affected more than you are where you are praying, more beneficial. So this reason, always don't forget other sentient beings. But one of you focusing that is praying, you may know. But there's so many beings suffer like that, and so we cannot ignore them. So this person, and particularly, but also whoever this kind of suffering, pain in the world, and that life go to despair, remove the suffering and pain, or physical or mental. And this would be really helpful if you have visualized clearly devotion, compassion is gathered together, and you pray. This will be really miraculously helpful for a person who is sick. If he will be karmically, recover, he could be recover and getting less pain and slowly recover. But then that person is not more last long, then he will not suffer too long. That will be something happening for whatever he is supposed to be karmically. So this will be helpful if you recite mantra and visualize like that. So this is one way to healing too. Healing means our mind. We have minds completely sick of our anger, sick of our desire, sick of our ignorance, stupid, and sick of our ego is a big sickness there. Disease, incurable, uncurable disease is our ego. But these kind be reduce your ego, your love compassion can be more strong and strength and more active. And so this can definitely happen, helpful if you do. But again, you just finish today because you have to do it. And then you not mean too much devotion or compassion and sincerely. So and visualization also here is not too good or bad. But that, you may have just say, this is my government make you to pay tax. That is, you will not like to pay, you'll pay that. But that is not benefiting. But you get upset to pay that tax, So similar, like your practice become like that, then I think the practice will be not too much benefit, of course. So you need to be truly beginning of your practice, laying foundation, refuge, and bodhicitta. Then actual practice like this is a kind of do our best. I didn't go through detail too much, but whatever I had the information, this information is enough for you to gather into your mind to concentrate it. So that is actual practice. Actual practice is a concentrate object that you are practicing. But your maybe thought comes, still don't forget visualizing the deities that you are doing it. And so that is very important to not to forget the object. But even you cannot 100%, merely you visualizing, and a thought will be distracting you. So that time your mindfulness is very necessary to restrain your mindfulness and become more sharp on your mindfulness. And so that is necessary, but do your best. Too much put effort will not help you either. Too much relaxing, that's lazy. Normally we don't want to do it too much. But you need to not too lazy, but not too much strength to use it too much, then you stop, practice. That you need to have some skill there to practice, So this is the one way I'm suggesting you're practicing. So this is the Chenrezig, it's reciting mantra now. So that is a part of the Chenrezig actual practice, that reciting mantra. So now is the kind of dissolving stage. Silently you have to do here. So dissolving state is that, this case, the crown of Chenrezig you bring in your heart, inside you. And then six silver leather or Mani Padme Hum also there together. Suppose you, all the place is a perfect pure land. That's what you visualize. And also that all the beings are visualized, Chenrezig Bodhisattva. The perfect being, perfect appearance, and perfect environment. So you're pure land. So that is good if you can bring for when you are about to die, for example. And you bring your mind, completely environment is perfect pure land. All being is Chenrezig Avalokiteshwaras. You completely absorbing all pervasive compassions and looking everything appear not yet truly existence. Relax your mind on state of that. You stop your breathing that moment, you're not dying, you're going to Devachan. So that is the power of the Vajrayana practice if you can keep up that. And that is the truly, you can do it. But again, if you don't daily practice, you have strong heavy on that practice, maybe at the time that you may not able to get opportunity or chance because you are maybe painful, confusion, difficulty, environment, around people make you are very confused. You may not able to do it. So that is the problem there. So therefore, daily you practice sincerely. So then time of the death, you can do this. This will be the wonderful way to die. So that is, many practices, many people think many practice. You don't need many practice. One practice, sincerely doing correctly, perfectly, that practice will take care of your life. But you are not satisfied. You need to be high tantra, high deities, high mantra, secret things. So these things you confuse you too. So therefore, so that make the world disturb, So, and I can hear that lots of high tantra, high mantra, high teachings. But I was observing myself since a little bit young. I'm wondering, these very learned people, clever, learned, Kembo, what they really ready to, in case something to happen to them, what they special they may have. I'm wondering that. And you can see the high learned, everybody just say that is a great learned person in a Buddhism. Then I see them carrying the mala in hand and they mumbling in mouth. I thought, well, these people really special mantra saying, these people doing special practice. I carefully listen what they're saying. They say, oh, Mani Padme Hum. That means that scholar alone up to all Chenrezig is one with the whoop. So he reciting mantra and he must be visualizing that. So he see there's nothing other practice can do really reliable. But he can talk about tantric Vajrayana, this and that. But after all, they reciting mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum, So that way, I can see Chenrezig is learned, clever, realized person. This is the one last. And my root guru, my beloved teacher, Kalu Rinpoche, of course, he's very highly realized person and giving teaching of all the 20th century great master lamas incarnation. He does also had mala, and I also observe him too. But actually, really, he says on Mani Padme Hum as well. So then I thought the Chenrezig is not the simple practice. Chenrezig is actually the real things, the essence of the all Buddhas. So you practice Chenrezig, you practice all Buddha, all Bodhisattva. One thing is because essence of the compassion is form of Avalokiteshvara. One practice in beginning, the training of the compassions, the result to get enlightenment. The past, present, future Buddha accomplish training the mind to compassion, then the result is actual wisdom, enlightenment. So this is kind of what is I understanding Chenrezig practice is very, very important. Also is nowadays, no matter where in India, Lama give initiation. Most time they give the Chenrezig initiations. Instruction, they give the Chenrezig instructions. Advising people, say, oh, money pay me home, you do that, that'll take care of you. And this is not joke, this is serious, you know. So Chenrezig is essence of the world deities. Chenrezig is essence of all practice. So Chenrezig is also the practice make you completely get resolved. So now we are Chenrezig, so environment is the Devachin, perfect pure land. Beings in all, it's Avalokiteshvara, Bodhisattva, and they dissolve environment into the being Chenrezig Avalokiteshvara, and Avalokiteshvara being Chenrezig dissolve into the ourself. And ourself Chenrezig dissolve into the inside Chenrezig, and our inside Chenrezig dissolve into the mantra, 6-petal lotus, 6 silver mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum. So now the begin dissolving from the Hung, the last petal, into the next. Hung dissolve into the Me. Hung is black, petal dissolve into the Me red. And then red, Me, and petal dissolve into the Pei. Pei is blue. Pei is letter Pei is blue, petal is blue as well, and dissolve into the Ni. Ni is the letter yellow, petal is yellow, and dissolve into the Ma. Ma is green, and green petal, green silver, dissolve into the Om in front. The white is the white petals, and this dissolve into the Re. And the Re dissolve into the character of the Re beneath called Achungs, little bit hung there, small character there. So that dissolve into Rata, another character. So the Rata dissolve into her body, you know, the kind mean body of the Re. And that dissolve in the head of the Re. And that become the Kigu, who is kind of another vowel in above. And that dissolved into small dust. And then small dust is dissolved into the completely spacious. So that's case that you need to be completely total. You can visualize, I mean, non-visualization. You can, whatever state of your mind, you are beginning, you can go back to Shine practice, you know, breathing, watching your breath, and any object you can bring or keep into and concentrate there, or some small dove. So that's beginning you can do. If somebody more advanced, then you can completely transcend everything's nothing there. So that case you have the avoidance, not the extreme. Panyaparamita says, Zu Tongpao, Tongpanyu le Zuso, Zule Tongpanyu Jamai knows. So Buddha says that too. That's the Buddha, I mean, Avalokiteshvara say that, and Buddha is witness there. So Buddha's proof that he was saying correct. That is what the true nature of the absolute truth. So the Tongpanyu la Zuso means that emptiness and form. The form is not other than emptiness. Tongpanyu la Zuso, Zule Tongpanyu Jamai no, Tongpanyu Jamai knows. So the emptiness not different from the form. So that is what Buddha says. So that case, you have to understanding, no? The mind is not have specific substance there. So this case, we're looking the naked mind without any kind of obscuration or perceiver or perceiving. So that case, your mind is total naked, means nothing wearing all kind of artificial things in the mind. Your mind is absolutely beginning primordial truth. So you don't have anything. So then you are not form, no emptiness. But the emptiness is no other than form, and form is not other than emptiness. So this meaning your mind is completely empty. Your mind is completely empty doesn't mean blank, dark. Your mind is empty, but very, very clear. Very, very clear. The clarity is aware. Awareness, aware the clarity. Awareness, aware the clarity. So that means emptiness, manifesting clarity. The clarity is nothing than the emptiness. The appearance is essence, the emptiness. So this is conjunctions, primordial purity. It is empty beyond empties. Relax on that state. Awareness, emptiness, inseparable. While you're staying on that state, meaning that pure nakedly appear empty and bliss. So that is the kind of interpretation of the Zule Tongbanyi, Tongbanyi le Zuje Maina, Zujen le Zule Tongbanyi Maina. So these are the pretty much similar idea of what I'm saying, that inseparability of the awareness, emptiness, manifesting the empty and bliss. So that means that this empty go beyond empty. It doesn't mean house empty, cup empty, your car empty, and not like that. Go to beyond that. Also, as well saying, now you'll get magicians. Now, Jimbe Samki Majimba, they don't Jimbur Bepade. Sanji Kinkin Kongpao. These are actually Guru Rinpoche said Jamgen Jamyan Kento Rinpoche. So that's what of the Guru Rinpoche is supposed to be. So that's, Chingyubuki Magyoshings, meaning that do not wire by the external existence. Not Zimbism matching, but do not tight or banded by the one's own mind. Completely naked, empty in awareness. That is the true all Buddha's wisdom mind. So it also this case brings something there. Totally let your mind not to clinging, exist or not exist. Let me free your mind, then. Free your mind. So now you can, this called the dissolving stage again. So another stage, but it is also the actual meditation, the second part too. So this creation stage is before we are created deities and recite mantra prayer. That this called dissolving stage is kind of dissolving into the absolute truth, actually, So that is the way you meditate, depending what level you are. You are practicing calm abiding or insight meditation, lakton, or you're doing Mahamudharama Ati also. So wherever you are level. So that up to your dawn, that silent meditation, long as you can. And when you're doing yourself, easy for you can make limited. And you somebody leading, then you have to follow the time when whoever leading you. So one such state of the mind now appear. So then appear from out of this spacious emptiness, myself and others appearing are the body of the noble ones, which become we appear Chenrezig again. And the sound also, sound of the 6 syllable mantras melody. The memory, thought, all is great spacious wisdoms, which is meaning sound, form, all it became empty sound, empty forms. So that's why you reappear from these silent meditations, form of the deities that yourself and others, perfect pure land, perfect Chenrezig body, perfect sound of mantra, but all of them are not really internally existent. It is just like appears, not real. So that's why you appears. So next one you can be dedicating. So so that's it now. This case it's now actually second part of this finishing there. Appear to sound mantra, appear as deities and pure land, overviewing everything's empty. That will be finishing the second part of the among the 3. But the next one is dedication. This is kind of dedication part is the last part. By this virtue, quickly I may obtain the state of Avalokiteshvaras. May all sentient being I guide to enlightenment of the Avalokiteshvaras. So that's the kind of dedications. So of course the dedication part also, you are the dedicators, we are dedicating, but there's a dedications what you're dedicating, and on who received these dedications. So the object, subject, action is there involved. So that case you should know you dedicating. So you have to know this all also we call Korsum Yongda. Korsum Yongda we call. Korsum Yongda meaning perfect three sphere. So that's of course Myongda. So this case that where you are dedicating sentient beings, what is dedication you dedicating, and who you are a dedicator. But you have to understanding you are the who are merit collected, and you are giving the merit to others. So what are they giving you? What kind of merit you giving? And where you giving? So these three have to be understanding from relative sense, not way, relative truth, but absolute truth way, dedicating. So what we do is that all sentient being, we first dedicated everything I have, the merit I accumulated, wisdom and merit both, since the beginning last time until now. So on this merit also gathering on the Buddha and Bodhisattva by merit, and all the single being, ordinary being have done even a handful foot of this things to other sentient being. We dedicate this, all of them, to all sentient beings, the mother sentient being who are suffering pain, confused, body, physically, mentally. I give this merit to all of them. May this be free, their speech, mind, body, free from suffering, and may attain the state of our Lokileshwara. So relatively, I am dedicating that way. But then now, the dedication have to be framed, or this will be last until you reach enlightenment, this merit. So that case, then you receiving sentient being is not really existent. Marriage is not existent. You are who is collector of merit also not exists. All these three sphere, meaning three object, subject, action, are not really inherently existed. Their also nature is emptiness. So that way you dedicate this merit, then you merit it lasts forever. Because otherwise, if you have the gold and jewel and poverty that very expensive, you have to be careful, because the many people will come take it. But how you do is save that is you have to put very safe place. You have piece of gold. You have to put it in a nice place. You lock it and seal it. A very nice place to put it. Then first place no one find because you hide it. Second place you cannot open because you can lock it and then seal it. So all these the different things make these things we can never find. Thief cannot take it away. If you don't do that, your goal is a piece of the gold, maybe kilo gold, and leave in front there. And door is opening, leave things your gold there, which is value is great. But you live in the house and open the door all four direction, four door. So that case, what happenings? So thief is from four door have four thieves there ready to come get it there. So any moment one of them take your gold, then you're lost. But you know how long you accumulated that gold to be there. You want to use something, it's important time. But somebody took it. So problem is you not take care of the gold. Therefore, problem is thief took it. So in order to get this safe gold, you have to put very safe, as like before, lock it and seal it, all different way, hide it. So this way to do. So then whenever you need your gold, you can use it and you enjoy that. So merit is like if you don't, and we have thief. Anger is one of thief, powerful thief. Desire is another thief. Stupidity is another thief. The jealous, proud, greed, hope, doubt is all kind of other thief. These are the door crowded, ready to take your merit. So for example, you did great merit, did things. You may practice good. Then you go outside without dedication, you're angry, all the merit gone. You desire, that all gone. So any emotion can take your merit. This now completely, not able to functioning or not have any merit left there. So that reason, dedication is very important. Immediately after you do practice, dedicate merit that way. Oh, so that is the kind of final, that the 3 steps we have, the final one, that was your dedication. You must dedicate it, otherwise you could be have lost easily by our emotion. So this is the what dedication part. That now I think we have to read these things, I think so. We read it there or bridge. You put your mouse somewhere or not read it. That's it. Okay. Dajilina. Oi Dajilina Pabe Go Dajai Endobe Tendo Yeshe Jembo Long Gewa Di Nyododa Chenrezig Dojo Do Je Jai Maluba Te Salai Gebajo. So next one is Amitabha. Oh, I see, it's true. Yeah. Daje, where is it? Amitabha, where is it? Tetra Bonde Gibe Sunangi Da 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 La Do Do Ne Za Lu De Bolwa Jurmanda De Wa Jentu Zide Kewas Kema Da Do Zaju Rabjune Tulbe Jojo Jende Jebolajo. This is a dedication as well. So it's saying this, likewise, accumulated merit by the reciting and meditating. And me and all sentient beings, whoever have the bad or good connection with me, all of them immediately up to the separate from this impure body, may not born anywhere else, but rather may born into Devachan Marakali. So that is Devachan, maybe that means up to I stop the mind breathing, I'm not going to Pardo, but I'm rather go to Devachan immediately. So that is, we're dedicating like that. So then next one is they say, as soon as born in Devachan, they may emanate in connection 10 direction, and I may have benefit endlessly all sentient beings. So that is the dedication continually. So next one is Gyawati Kyusuna is also Tambakunyi Toparshu. This is Nagarjuna Road, this dedication prayer. Gyawati Kyu Kyun Sunavichi Zog days. So by these virtues, completely perfected wisdom and merit. And then Sunamishi Zog days, and maybe wisdom is up to the coming from the wisdom and merit, I may obtain 2 sacred bodies. So there has 2 sacred bodies. Kind of here is what Nagarjuna pointing out here. We need accumulation merit and accumulation wisdom is necessary. So accumulation merit is benefit sentient beings. Accumulation wisdom is the benefit of yourself to attaining enlightenment. So whatever wisdom and merit benefiting or arose from them is I achieve the 2 sacred bodies. So that means 2 sacred body means Dharmakaya and Rupakayas. Dharmakaya is originally benefit yourself to achieve full awakenings. Rupakaya is benefit sentient being out of your compassion. So this is Nagarjuna wrote this prayer is very wonderful. So we're dedicating this merit to be achieved Dharmakaya and Rupakaya, which gain from the merit and wisdoms. So then, not saying it's only your wisdom part is important, but merit, material merit is important because this is Rupakaya achievings. So next one, the Changchu said the Rinpoche, and the precious Bodhicitta is precious. If I don't have the generate or born my mind, Bodhicitta, it may born right now, this moment, to blessings. If already have the born Bodhicitta in my mind, increase and flourish. So I pray to Bodhicitta to increase and develop. So that is a dedication and prayer. And so I think we have to say something this. Gyawati Kiukin, I think we have to say that one. Okay, so Gyawati Kiukin, Suna Yeshe Todo, Suna Yeshe Lejong, Tamba Guni Toba Jo, Tanjo Zemne Rinpoche, Mage Panai Gejoj, Geba Nyamba Mebata, Kone Kondu Pewa Jo. The next is short Devachan prayer. Everybody knows this. I think we read this together, and then we'll be continuing next. Dene zibi dirmanda kewa jenge parmanje ba. Tero gene nande jardon jo. Digenda ge mola intabadi. Choju sonje janzim tamje ge gengme dobra jinge lapo. Teyanda penza di awa bodo na. So today is a little longer, so we make only one time this. So now we can make the question as time's question, I guess. Please.
Okay. One moment while I open up my chat. Okay, so there's a question about the visualization, Rinpoche, from Barbara. She writes, I'm a little confused about the deity visualization. Am I visualizing myself as Chenrezig, or is he just above my crown, or both? Does it depend on whether you have Chenrezig empowerment transmission or not? Thank you.
I think that's a very good question. I would say, Chenrezig, if you have empowerment, you have received empowerment, you can visualize yourself Chenrezig. And you don't have empowerment, maybe visualize in throne or your crown. Your crown is a little difficult because we never look this way. And in throne is better, more visualization clear. So that is, again, but this Chenrezig is not restricted to you to visualize anyway. So you want to visualize yourself, Chenrezig is fine. But sequence go post, focus the oneself, our crown or in throne, you visualize, we focus the Chenrezig outside. When you get recite mantra a little more familiarized, and then you Chenrezig dissolve, and not dissolve, to come into your heart, and then your Chenrezig, and then also you are in heart have Chenrezig also. So these two, and that we call Samaya being, wisdom being, Samadhi being, they have lots of ways. So Samaya beings yourself, Samaya beings, you are Tamsikpa now, so you are visualized deities. And then wisdom being is Chenrezig, we invoke in your heart, they call wisdom being. The Samadhi being is a mantra inside you, the mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum free, Samadhi being we call. So there are three different Samadhi, wisdom, and being, the three beings, wisdom being, Samadhi being, Samaya beings. Also just like that. So it's case that, you can visualize yourself Chenrezig, but you seek on, first you have to visualize Chenrezig in front or your crown. If you're this little not comfortable, then you can visualize in front, that's fine. But normally in this case, the text will say you visualize Chenrezig on crown of your head. So either way, fine. But first you have to do focus outside, not from you, in front one. You visualize and dissolve there, that called wisdom being. Then later, certain point, you bring in your heart, like that. It makes sense? You can ask the question more if you want.
Thank you. Craig Jenke writes, Rinpoche, please explain more about the inseparability of compassion and emptiness. Thank you.
So when you really have reached state of compassion, then emptiness becomes. And it's there is called the three different kind level of the compassions. One is the kind of focusing on sentient being sufferings. One is focusing on phenomena. One is the compassion for non-referential compassion, we call, So one, you can level of non-referential compassions. Sentient being is limitless, it's sky. And then you are completely compassion to all the sentient being limitless sky, and you merge into the emptiness anyways, So that you have that kind of understanding and realization that your compassion reaches to every sentient being as limitless as sky. So your mind become emptiness, Sentient being is limitless. And then you are kind of, what do you call, you are merge that limitless sentient being idea. So that makes your mind is become emptiness with the compassions. That's a good question too. The emptiness and compassion, inseparability. Inseparability means that, as I think yesterday I talking that if you have compassion, somebody say, I do have compassion, but I don't know I can understanding emptiness. Impossible. If you really understand compassion, you understand the emptiness. As you really understand realization of the emptiness, then you have compassion. True compassion can be, merged with the true emptiness. True absolute emptiness can be merged with compassion. That can be not separated, So then you name only compassion is one hand. That means it doesn't make any sound. It doesn't mean that it's not functioning anymore. But only emptiness in his one hand also. That doesn't function too much, more than getting darker. So you have the both. It's work, functions. What happens is both hand clap make sound. The one hand clap doesn't make sound. So therefore, same things. Two arms can make the sound, which is sound come from empty, right? And so therefore, compassion and loving kindness is inseparable. It can be separated because the fire and then fire have the heat. You cannot separate fire and heat. Wherever fire is, heat is there, warmth is there. But you want to see the warmth, that fire give the warmth. You want to see what kind of color of the warmth, what kind of shape. You cannot see that. But you get absorbed. You can enjoy the heat and warmth. But it's come from the fire. There's no fire, there's no warmth. So similar like that, without compassion can be emptiness. Without emptiness, realization can be compassion and emptiness. So meditate correct emptiness can be develop your compassion as well. And meditate compassion, truly compassion is developed, that can develop the realization of emptiness as well. So they are inseparable. It may help. She can go more if she wants to, because I'll see sometime.
Thank you. The next question, Terry Bradley asks, Prajnaparamita is known as the mother of all Buddhas, and Green Tara, it is written, is the mother of all Buddhas. Does this mean they are one and the same? Thank you.
With mother of Buddha, the idea is doesn't mean mother, Green Tara to be there to mother, Prajnaparamita be there. Prajnaparamita is non-existent. Green Tara is non-existent, absolute point of view. So actually I can tell what mean Prajnaparamita, mother is Prajnaparamita. Mother Paramita is Bhakti Yum, we call, mother of the three noble ones. The Pritaka and Sharaka Buddhas, but four or three, I think four. So they call, so Prajnaparamita give both Buddha and Bodhisattva. Arhat and Charvaka, yes, the four of them actually. So what is the actual Prajnaparamita is? Actual Paramita is non-existent, emptiness. That's the Prajnaparamita. Then you practice the emptiness. Give both Buddha. Practicing emptiness, what happens is you really true emptiness develop, then you can achieve the Buddha. Buddha Shakyamuni like. Buddha Shakyamuni become Buddha. The mother is the Prajnaparamitas. Emptiness. Prajnaparamita is emptiness, actually. Shunnanta. That's the Prajnaparamitas. And then also then Bodhisattva give both from the Prajnaparamita. So what is the Prajnaparamita? That's the mother. Yes, we call mother. The mother is emptiness. Then Pritaka and Shravaka, both of them also Prajnaparamita give both. So therefore, mother of the four son. So the four son, four is the Pritaka Buddha, Shravaka Buddha, Bodhisattva, and Buddha. These four of them are the son of the mother. So who is referred to mother is emptiness. Through practice of the emptiness meditation, you get the develop Prataka Buddha, Sharaka Buddha, Bodhisattva, or Buddha, Chitta Buddha, So that is called Prajnaparamita. That is the kind of actually Prajnaparamita referred to emptiness, But then, of course, then we have method using Green Tara is Prajnaparamita, a female form. One give both the son, have to be mother to give son, But here is we refer to mother because the Prajnaparamita give both Buddha and Bodhisattva, Arhat, Prataka, Shoraka. So that's the mother, He give the born. So that is the kind of Prajnaparamitas. It make okay? Hope so.
Thank you. James asks, is the only way to benefit all sentient beings through the emptiness? So I'm sorry, let me read this again. Is the only way to benefit all sentient beings through the emptiness, such as radiating light into the Dharma Dhatu?
Of course, if you reach total emptiness, then benefit sentient being for sure. But then you are mistake, your conceptual emptiness cannot do that. Yeah. So that means beginning you practice mind training, the Bodhisattva way, to compassion training, this thing necessary. So that make the emptiness become correct. And then that emptiness can embrace the compassions, the benefit beings. So same things in the emptiness, correct emptiness, then that will embrace the compassion, all sentient being. And compassion is correct, that will also embrace the absolute truth emptiness. So these are the, yes, the benefit sentient being by both. But, only the part of emptiness, it's not, because that is become extreme. And the extreme doesn't get truth absolute. And until only the compassion, also the extreme. But that case, extreme emptiness have some selfish here. And extreme compassion have some selfish. With selfish, you never get enlightenment. Then never get benefit. Are satisfied with the question? Answer?
Thank you, Rinpoche. So I have a question that came in via email. And it is from Conrad, and his question is Ne Sangma heaven, Akanishta, the highest form realm where arhats stay until they start developing compassion?
Ne Sangma is a samsara. Arhat is not really samsara, actually. Arhat is beyond samsara, So Ne Sangma, I think he said the Tibetan. So that's Ne Sangma is the kind of Chenrezig, we call this kind of, they are kind of more divine among themselves. But even then, not Sipitsimo, that meaning they are Sipitsimo meaning tip of the world, samsara. Even not there, that Ne Sangma is below that. So therefore, they are kind of be not arhat. They are below the arhat because they are not even have the gate of the samsara. They don't get in the gate of liberations. Arhat are on the gate of the liberation because they are on the gate. Because they open the gate, they can get in, So, but Ne Sangma is never get in the gate yet. This will help him.
Thank you. Craig Jenke asks, how do arhats subdue the ego without developing bodhicitta?
And they focus in selflessness meditations. That's their meditation. And they use the 223 different kind of Vinaya vow the keeping. And then also they use some 6 parameters, all this method they use. And of course they use a compassion too, merit, all these things the same. They same as we do, only the motivation is different. And they also have selflessness and mean focus. They want to reach selflessness. They will not focusing the selflessness of phenomenals. They're one of these, they're little bit halfway, they touch that idea. But the first one is even they not touching at all. They have being focused on the selflessness, yes. So selflessness is it can become no self, then that meaning no emotions, no afflictions. So now no affliction make you bring your mind completely peace. And there are no result of any kind of negativity. So they stay in the silent, quite there at some time,
Thank you, Rinpoche. Terry Bradley asks, thank you so much for explaining about Prajnaparamita. You said one's devotion brings Buddha there. Is it the same with one's yidam and one's guru when from our heart we call them with this devotion with confidence?
Yidam for sure. And a guru, what kind of guru you have, I don't know. so there are so many gurus, so many lama. I have very much doubt every lama. I'm sorry that, being I'm lama as well. But, I don't think so too much. But anyway, yidam, if you have, so you believe the yidam's in front of you, yidam's always with you. Yidam is the manifestation of the Buddha also. No different from Buddha, no different from the true guru too. The yidam is, he's become Lama and protector. All the deities ascend become your yidams. If Chenrezig become you practice focusing, you believe on that, Chenrezig become the everything. So Lama and Idam, and then deities, and protector too. So that become, yes, your Idam can be replaced to every Buddha and Bodhisattva, any deities. Yes.
Those are all the questions that we have right now, Rinpoche.
Good enough, I think it's good enough. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And so, okay, so and dismiss now, Lama Ching.
Thank you very much, Rinpoche. And I wanted to let everyone know that Rinpoche has more teachings February 21st and 28th. And so that will be published in the KDK newsletter and on the website, which will all be updated very soon and sent out very soon as well. And Rinpoche, thank you so much for these 4 weekends of teachings.
You're welcome, of course. I'm doing my heart to make it helpful for you because there's COVID-19 is kind of big problem. So it will be make somewhat entertaining you by, I'm like comedy, so I hope this will be helpful for smaller people, here and there. So I have very much enjoyed to give talk to people. Thank you very much, all of you. Thank you, Lama Ching La and David, Leah. 3 of you are really good. My right hand, left hand, my in front face, all you are 3. Okay.
All right. Good night, and thank you very much again, Rinpoche.
Thank you. Thank you.